So I'm going to jump into mm, let's call it a scary boat. Okay. It could be the controversial boat. So I read something this morning and, I very much find myself always delving into the realm of mm, challenging societal norms and expectations. Love it. It's my thing. I think it's important that we do it. It's something that I learned from uni. There was a class in uni that I did. Now, I studied social work at uni for 4 years. And up until that point, I would say that I was very much a product of what I was told, what I saw on the news, what my parents said, what my friends said, what I was seeing on billboards, a lot from the news, a lot. And I did this one subject, and this teacher, he said, "Does anybody understand the concept of critical thinking?" And I thought to myself, no, I don't. And he explained it. He asked us, do you accept that whatever you see on the news or whatever people tell you to be true is true? And that really got me thinking as a 19-year-old, because I knew no other way. And by the end of this class, he really had me see the power of repetition from outside sources having us then believe it. So dictating what we believe to be true about ourselves and about the world. And by the end of that class, it only went for 60 minutes. But by the end of that class, I was hell-bent on questioning everything. You can call me Skeptical Sue. I was questioning everything. It was from that point in my life that I decided to stop watching the news, actually. I started to question all of the prejudices that I had at 19 years old. It could have been towards a certain race. It could have been towards a certain person, a certain age group, a certain job title, all of the prejudices that we are led to believe exist in this world just as a byproduct of marketing and the news and dominant norms in this world. So I started questioning everything, and that hasn't stopped. And that's exactly why I do what I do. And so this morning was interesting for me because I saw something, and I come across this all of the time, but I came across something that was said by somebody that I listen to and that I really like. So, and he's done incredible work in the field of addiction and mental health and well-being and brain development and well-being. And his name is Gabor Mate. Sorry. And he started talking about how he started talking about ADHD in children and one of the reasons why it is on the rise. And he started talking about how parents are more stressed in these days, in this day and age, and the symptoms and how ADHD shows up in children is indeed mechanisms and reactions to being in some kind of stressful environment. That's the long and the short of it. And then I started reading the comments, which is always a dangerous thing. It's always a dangerous thing. And there was a lot of rebuttal. A lot of people saying that this is incorrect and that was, I'm sick of being blamed as the parent. And some saying that they understood it because they have been diagnosed with ADHD and so has their children. Some adults have said, yes, that makes sense because I've grown up in a really stressful and traumatic household. And it just got me thinking more and more. So one of the things that I do on a daily basis is that I am assessing, researching, analyzing human behavior on the whole, human behavior phenomena. And I do that within my own mind and also the minds and the brains and the bodies of everybody that I've come into contact with, that I read about, and that I work with. And so one of the things that I have realized, and it's not just about this one particular thing, because there's lots of views and opinions out there that we may disagree with, be offended by, not see the validity in. There's many out there, many. There's some that really grind my gears and trigger me also. Okay. But let's stick with the one at hand here when we're talking about parenting and child behaviors. And one of the things that I find to be the most challenging when understanding child behaviors at large and parent-child dynamics and family dynamics is that as soon as we take the aspects, the core foundational aspects of human behavior, child and adult human behavior personally, then we tend to lose the point. So as soon as we take the norms of human behavior, child and adult, as soon as we take them personally and we get defensive about it, then we've missed a really important point for ourselves and for our children. So sometimes there are really hard-hitting things that my clients realize in their parenting, in their lives, in them just being human. And sometimes there's really hard-hitting things that they realize about their kids. And as somebody who doesn't have children yet, there are really hard-hitting things that I realize about myself in conjunction with all of the people that are in my life that I love the most. And when you think about all of the times that you've been offended or that you've been triggered or that there's been conflict in a relationship, it's always when we start getting offended or we start being triggered or we start taking things personally. But what if in all of these scenarios, it's simply the norms of human behavior, child and adult? What if it's just that? What if in any child-adult scenario, any parent-child dynamic, any family dynamic, we were able to remove the personal and remove the subjective nature of it and simply be objective? And what I find in my work with families and parents is when we can do that, that's when the results are achieved. It really is our emotions that get in the way, isn't it? It doesn't matter what it is in life. It can be in your family, it can be in your work, it can be in your relationships, it can be in your time on your own. It doesn't matter what field or area. It really is the emotions that get in the way of learning something that's going to make all the difference. So, and I'm thinking about this as I'm talking to you as well, because my mind is constantly trying to work out where is the sense in this, because there's usually sense in everything that somebody says. There's some sort of sense in it. We can't have one human saying an opinion and it only be true for that one human. It's impossible, flat out impossible. So even though we have this real feeling of objection to what Gabor was saying, that's still only a percentage. There is a huge percentage out there that would agree. And when I consider my own behaviors sometimes, and what I chat with through my mentors, my coaches, and my therapists that I have, because I want to understand myself completely so I can understand those around me, I think back to my own childhood too. And I think I absolutely did shut off from my world when I was young. I had to survive. If I was going to make it through in one piece, I needed to shut off from all of the suffering, the pain, the unpredictability, the fear, the chaos, the family chaos and the dynamic. So the reason why I'm sharing this with you is not to have you either agree or disagree with what Gabor was saying, but simply to get to the bigger picture of things When we think about your children, the little beings that are the most important things in your whole entire world, and that you care more than anything about what they achieve or don't achieve in their future, right? How successful they are emotionally. Are they well as an adult? Are they healthy? Do they have great relationships? Is your relationship still great with them? All of those wishes and dreams that you have for them, and what they might be struggling with right here and right now. I work with a lot of families where there is ADHD, autism, ODD, anxiety, defiance. We've got lots of meltdowns. We've got anger issues. We've got explosiveness. You name it. You name it. I hear from you. I hear from you and I hear it. So the point of this video is to have you question, to have you get critical, which takes us understanding where the emotion is coming from and is it serving us? Is it serving us? So that's all. That's all that I want to share on this for now. So is the emotion serving you? Have you delved into taking it personally? And can you see the bigger picture where it's simply the foundations of human behavior at play here? Because in any relationship, there are human behavior foundations at play every step of the way. And that is why and how I figure out all of the solutions and the strategies for the families I work with, because we're always at play with the other human. This is part of being human. It's not a part of being you or your child individually. It's part of being human as the collective. This is how it works in any relationship, child or not child. So the next time, I wonder when you feel like you feel triggered or you feel unsure of an opinion that somebody has said, or a belief system that you're hearing on the news or in the newspaper or on a podcast, or what your friends are saying, I wonder if you can just take a step back and think, could this be true? Is there some sort of sense to it? Or are my emotions getting in the way of seeing something that could serve me, that might serve me individually, or my child, or my family? So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. I'm curious because it's a really big topic, and it's something that even this video probably will not do it justice on the whole. It's something that takes some time to think through and reflect upon. So if you stuck with me this whole way, then one, I'm impressed. And two, I hope it's because it's been of purpose to you. Thanks for tuning in, and I will connect with you soon.